they call this the time of the great awakening, the great purification. Well, the question is, well, what are we purifying and what are we awakening from?
Listen up or run for cover. Dropping knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. The real Robin Bradley Bombs is dropping
What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. And folks, every single day you hear me say I got a real treat for you. But today, folks, I think you're in for a real treat. In fact, a double treat. We've got Eric and John Nies in the house. Welcome.
What's up, Brad?
Hey. How you
Now,
doing, buddy?
Hello, everybody.
Dude, if you guys...
Bomb Squad, hello.
The old Bomb Squad. That's right.
That's right.
Nice.
Now, you guys are in the Bomb Squad now. Eric Nies, if you guys remember Real World, the first one out of New York, Eric's the dude that was in the house, got all popular and shit. You started running around in the whole famous life. I remember a couple of the girlfriends you had. You know, everybody else, you know,
Which one?
wanted. Well, I don't know. You had shit tons of them. John Nies, Eric's brother, played football for the old Bills. You
I
said?
got drafted by the Bills. Yep. Had a half a cup of coffee there.
Yeah. Well, that's what NFL stands for. Not for long.
Not for long, exactly. I definitely
I've
lived
never
up.
heard that.
Yeah, but if you got a jersey, if you got a jersey, dude, that's all that matters.
I put the hat on.
That's right.
Yep.
But anyway, these guys are like freaking unbelievably experienced, let's say. And that's where wisdom comes from. You know, a lot of people listen to me and they're like, damn, dude, you got some good shit. Well, I've lived a long time, 52 years, but in reality, probably 500 and maybe 5 million. But all I know is experience brings wisdom, right? Experience brings wisdom, and
100%.
these guys freaking got a shit ton of it. And I'm gonna unpack it. There's just so many things I want to talk about because, I mean, shit, this might even go on for several days. The longest episode.
This could be a lifetime of conversations.
The longest episode
Right.
ever because, number one, like Eric, back in the day, now you're older,
I'm older.
and where'd you guys grow up?
Jersey.
Yeah.
Ocean
Jersey Shore.
Township, New Jersey, Jersey Shore.
So, big family?
4 of us,
Four
four
of
kids.
you.
2
Four.
sisters are older.
2 sisters, 4 kids, Jersey, normal Jersey family?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
pretty normal.
for the most part, I guess.
You weren't rich.
Nope.
No.
And when did you get in the NFL?
90, I was drafted by the Bills.
And when did you do Real World?
92.
Yeah, so he was drafted by the Bills. So you were like freaking, everyone's like, fuck yeah, John. You were probably still thinking, well, too bad. Eric ain't the one.
That's right.
And then, Eric, how'd you accidentally fucking end up on Real World, which accidentally changed, in my opinion, television? Why? Because that's reality TV.
Well, I thought I was going to follow in his footsteps.
Play football? Why? Were you a punter too?
I could punt the ball.
Well, what were you going to play? You ain't huge.
We were wide receivers and cornerback. He played outside linebacker a little bit.
Were you guys kick ass in high school or something?
I'm just saying I thought that's where my life was going. I played every sport. If there was a sport that I could have gone pro in, it probably would have been soccer, but I walked away from that to play football and basketball.
Yeah. And then how'd you get on Real World?
Well, it's a story. The athletic career came to an end. I tried to play, went out to where he was going to University of Arizona. I played for a half a season. I missed my friends. I went back home, got in a little scuffle next to the lunchroom in high school. They thought that I was dangerous to the rest of the students. They suggested that I leave school, and we thought that would be the best move for me, and so that's what we did. I dropped out, got my GED.
What grade?
My senior year,
Okay.
halfway through my senior year.
Yeah.
And then I started getting in trouble because I wasn't playing sports, partying with my crew.
When you say partying, what kind of partying?
Name it, alcohol,
Like
weed,
Coke, all of it?
ecstasy,
All right.
acid.
Whatever we
The norm. Nothing
Yeah.
crazy though,
No,
right?
No, all skate, all have fun.
Nothing crazy though. You weren't shooting up heroin and smoking angel dust.
No, this was fun. This was party time. You know, like clubs.
He tried it.
Yeah, no,
See, I smoked
crack once. I smoked heroin once.
Crack's not the same. Like, to me, heroin and PCP, that's made.
That's crazy.
Crack, that's experimental. All you do is smoke it.
Right.
One time. See, this ain't about me, but one time I did a I think 3-day crack binge.
What?
Down in California. Well, I lived in these apartments, and this dude, every time I drive home, he'd go like this. And so one time it looked like he wanted something, so I slowed down. I said, "What's up?" He rolled up and introduced himself. His name was K-Lo. And he'd say, K-Lo, West Side Low End Do-Rock Crip.
And he had some crack for you?
Well, I didn't know it at the time. I'm like, cool. And he's like, try, basically.
What you need.
And I'm like, shit, I'll try this. And so I smoked the first time, nothing happened. So I go back and forth to work again, and I see him again, and he comes up. He says, "How'd you like it?" Basically. And I'm like, whatever. And he's like, "Oh, no. Here, try that one." So I went up. I think the weekend came, like, I'll try to smoke this. Boom! Fucking 3 days, dude. I was selling everything I had, looking for Kalo for 3 days straight.
Oh, my God.
Smoking the shit like it was going out of style.
That's a monster, that stuff.
I smoked it so long that I thought my lungs were going to collapse.
Yeah.
And that's what made me, shake out of it. Otherwise, I could have been like a crackhead.
Trouble, yeah.
And that shit's
It grabs people.
But not as scary as PCP and angel dust and the salts that make you think you're
those bad salts.
That's to me major shit.
Yeah, we didn't get over into that.
But you tried heroin?
No, I smoked it. The black tar that you light on the tinfoil.
Chasing the dragon.
Oh yeah.
I hated the feeling. I hated the way I felt in my body. I was like, this is not mushrooms. This is not ecstasy.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I can't
either.
go rollerblading for 8 hours and listen to house music and have a good time. Like, that was crawl up in a ball, world's caving in on you. I feel disgusting in my body.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
Well, when I was a kid, I had a buddy named Jason Paxton, and his mom used to do heroin, but she'd shoot it up. And when we'd go over there, she'd be shooting up heroin, and then as soon as she shot it up, she'd start what they call nodding, and then she'd puke. And I think that solved me, and that's why I don't do ayahuasca. I don't want to shit on myself. You don't like puking? I don't like puking or shitting on myself.
That's
you don't
a blessing
shit on yourself,
in ceremony, though. We call that getting well.
Of course, with COVID nowadays, dude, it's like that's the new shitting in your pants when you cough.
People shit themselves doing ayahuasca?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. You purge from many different directions.
I didn't know that.
And apparently, I asked questions multiple times, like, "Well, are you prepared?" They're like,
"Yeah."
No, you just wear your normal clothes and you're sitting around. And
I mean, you try to go to the bathroom. It's very rare that people actually do shit themselves, but it does happen. But you have assistants. People can take you to the bathroom.
And just for frame of reference, you've done ayahuasca over 100 times.
Yeah, I've been in over 100 ayahuasca ceremonies.
Yeah, see, now we're getting ahead of ourselves because I want to kind of like build the life. Right. You know, you're playing football. You're on Real World.
Right. So back to the same question. My mom said, "What are you going to do with your life? You got to do something. Why don't you go to New York, be a model, try acting?" I was like, "Nah, I'm an athlete. I don't want to have anything to do with that." A friend of ours made it huge in modeling. It was an easy way in. Agency, hooked it up. Year and a half later, Real World came through a casting, and I was on the show.
Boom. Now, was it a whirlwind after that?
Oh my God. Insane.
Whirlwind. Now,
tornado.
Now, were you like
300-mile-an-hour winds?
But are you already done with football at the time? Now you're like, oh shit, little.
No,
brothers.
I was. I got cut by the Bills and ended up. I started my downward spiral. Depression hit pretty hard
because you got cut.
Yeah, I was embarrassed, and I took it. I don't want to get too deep into the story, but I was playing wide receiver in high school and junior college, and I was successful at it. And I had dreamt about being an NFL wide receiver, not an NFL punter. I just happened to have a really strong leg. So on each team that I played on, the coaches would ask who can kick, and I'd raise my hand, and I'd win the job. So when I got to Arizona, they didn't let me play wide receiver. Well, they let me play wide receiver. I didn't tell them I was a punter and kicker, and then I wasn't getting on the field. So I told them that I could punt and kick better than their guys that they had starting. And so I won the punting job. And I was pissed because I wanted to play wide receiver. So I trained like out of my mind training 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a day, got into the sickest shape of my life. And I thought I was just going to impress the coaches where they couldn't deny me. You know, I'm the best athlete on this team. I'm playing wide receiver. And it backfired because my punting and kicking got so good. It was already good. It was already great, and it got even greater. And I ended up becoming so valuable to them. They're like, you're not playing wide receiver. You're punting and kicking. You're going to go to the NFL.
Why can't you do both?
They thought I was too valuable. They didn't want to risk me getting hurt. It was some bullshit they told me. And we were a running team. They didn't throw the ball that much. So a lot of different things conspired against me. And I was a pussy. I didn't speak up. I kind of let fear, which was a big problem in my life, take over. And I always, I didn't take the bull by the horns. I just let other people make decisions for me, which was, the pussy that I was. And, they kept saying, you're going to go to the NFL. All these scouts are looking at you. You're going to the NFL. And I was like, I don't want to go to the NFL as a punter. But when I did, I kind of embraced it and got excited. And, it was my ego. I was like more about the bragging than it was about the pride for being a talented kicker punter. I didn't, when you don't want something, it's not important. It had no value to me. And I was always dreaming and fantasizing in maybe my delusional mind that I could have been an NFL wide receiver. And so I got up. I didn't prepare the way that I prepared for my senior year in college before I went to camp in Buffalo. So my timing was off. And I was just shanking punts all over the place. And they kept me because they invested in me. They took me in the 6th round. So they invested money in me. So I made the team. They cut the other 2 guys I was competing with. And then I had an opportunity to prove myself. And I just shit the bed. I was playing worse and worse each week. I got all in my head, performance anxiety. I was partying like a madman, going out every night, drinking, chasing girls.
Maybe deep down you didn't think you deserved to kick ass.
Yeah, I was.
Huh?
Yeah.
See, you guys.
A lot of deep-rooted psychological stuff going through my mind, and we can go way back to childhood, but we don't want to take up too much time. But I was a mess. I was insecure, self-conscious, had no confidence in myself, and despite the success that I was having, none of that ever went away. And so the drinking made it go away. So I was drinking heavily. And the drinking also gave me that false sense of confidence to chase the girls because I was so self-conscious and insecure that I ended up using the alcohol as my crutch to, go in there and have the confidence to talk to girls in those environments that I was trying to hook up. So I get cut, and then they started a new league called the World League, which was Europe, 3 teams in Europe, a team in Canada, and I think 7 of us here in the United States. I got picked up by the Sacramento Surge. So I'm out in Sacramento when he blew up. So he's blowing up on MTV. We're watching it. I'm watching.
Are you guys talking a lot?
Yeah.
Because like me and my brothers, I can go years without talking to them, and there's nothing wrong with us. We just don't communicate. Are you guys close?
Oh, no, we were like best friends at that point.
So he's blowing up. Are you texting him like, dude, you can't believe this
There's
shit?
no text messages then. He would page me and I would call him.
Would you be like, dude, you ain't going to believe this shit?
Oh, dude, I brought everybody with me.
Yeah.
All my friends. I had an entourage everywhere I went.
Everywhere.
Before an entourage was an entourage,
exactly.
You had one. Yeah. You started the entourage.
Yeah, maybe. Wow. I don't know. Yeah, he was blowing up. I'm out in Cali, and then he came to visit me in Sacramento when he started really getting the fame. And the first time I saw it, we went to the mall in Sacramento, and I was like, dude, there's some crazy shit happening right now. Like, these girls are all going nuts, bro. We went into a line at a yogurt store, and there was like 12 people deep. It was when yogurt just started, getting frozen yogurt started blowing up back in the early 90s. And there was like 12 people in in front of the 3 registers. And I'm seeing this, I'm just observing everything. And this girl is like freaking out. She sees him and she's just panicking. She's like, she doesn't know what to do. He's in her line and oh my, and so all of a sudden she's like, flush, like rashes broke out. And the girl next to her goes, what's wrong with you? You're breaking out in a rash, like an embarrassed. So she goes running into the back. Someone else, and all these heads start popping around. All the girls start swirling. Eric's like, we got to get out of here, bro.
Now, this already happened to you somewhere else?
It happened to me wherever I went.
Yeah, but it had to start sometime.
You mean the first time it happened?
The first time you realize, holy fuck, I'm famous.
Yeah, that was like people coming by my house.
So like you filmed it, and then how long until they released it?
Oh, it came out immediately. Like when we wrapped the last episode, it aired a week later.
Because when you guys were filming it, nobody knew who the fuck you were, so you could walk around and no one would know shit.
I had no idea what was going to happen.
And then all of a sudden they release it, and all of a sudden people are like doing that.
Yeah,
like there's a time where you like,
but they know your life.
Oh yeah, well
that's
they think
the difference.
They think
that was the difference. They think they do, and they know little tidbits and what happened on the show.
Oh yeah,
from that first episode.
So you got
personable,
but you got all kinds of people making all kinds of assumptions. But the fact is, that's that motherfucker from the show.
Yeah.
And
everywhere we went,
huh?
Everywhere we went.
Yeah, dude, how'd that feel?
Incredible.
Yeah, is that good? One time I was out.
It felt incredible for me, and it wasn't even happening to me. I was like so stoked. This is like unbelievable.
Dude,
like,
trust me.
What is happening?
I was out with Mike Tyson one time. I met him through a friend of mine, and I looked at him and I said, dude, after all this time, like, fucking, was it worth it? Because he went to prison and all this shit. And he looked over and he goes, yeah,
of course. We got a little taste of it. We had a little taste of it because there's a little grooming because of our father. Our father is a ref in the NBA for 31 years. He's like one of the longest running refs in NBA history. He's reffed over 2,000.
Yeah. So sports fans knew who he was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we would go to the games, and we were hanging out with Larry Bird and Julius Erving and Dr. J and, the biggest guys in sports. So I got a taste of watching what would happen to them. So there was a little bit of a...
Yeah, and then I had it in Buffalo, too. It was Buffalo fans. It was small, but everywhere I went out, we were all rookies. Mostly the rookies hung out together. So we'd go to a restaurant. They made a big to-do about us. Or, fans would come to practice and ask for autographs. So I had a little smidge of the fame, feeling too.
So this is
Teen
Idol's
another level. It was like the girl. It was crazy, man.
Dude, man, that's freaking awesome. So okay, and then so you're at the mall. These guys are freaking out. You start to realize
we had to take off because they were swarming. They would swarm them wherever we went. They're like, it was like the Beatles. It was crazy.
Do they still do it so much now?
No.
Now you're back to where you can walk around and people. They might be like. Because if I ran into you, I'd be like, why does that guy look fucking familiar? I wouldn't have remembered, hey, that's Eric Nies from Real World. How long has it been? How long was Real World aired?
29 years ago.
Oh, shit. And for those of you guys listening, by the way, it's coming back. I think it just popped the reunion.
March 4th, which was a day ago.
Yeah, what channel?
Paramount Plus streaming.
Yeah, so go get that streaming if you guys remember the Real World. If you don't, go do it anyway because I guarantee that's going to be a kick-ass show.
Yeah, that's a new streaming site.
It's what kicked off all these current reality shows. Like, was any of it like reality scripted?
No, not us.
That's back when it was just like they just filmed your asses.
We were maybe the first and the last authentic production that happened
of total reality TV, because a lot of people don't realize reality TV is sometimes not as real as you think.
Nah, not even close.
They stage it like, we need you guys to get in a fight today, and
we got a budget, we got we got advertisers, we got
it's fabricated. It's fabricated.
So at some point though, that kind of tamed down for the both of you, where it's like, now what? So when did you, and by the way, folks, the juiciest part we haven't even talked about yet. Like, believe it or not, all this is just like, man, we could talk for days about just that period.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm more interested in the period you went after all that.
Right.
Okay. Well,
no, because I do want to talk a little more about the fame, but the Grandmaster stuff, I'm planting the seed for the Bomb Squad, folks. I'm telling you, if you're heading into work because your drive time's over, I'd sit in the parking lot and keep listening.
Well, there's a lot. There's some things that happened before the Grandmaster. We don't have to get into it too much, but my career came to a screeching halt because a manager came in my life and brainwashed me, manipulated me, controlled me, abused me.
What were they saying?
Messed him up.
Messed me up big time.
But like, what kind of thing? Like making you like what'd they do?
It was a he, and it was the first time that I have ever heard anything about the New World Order or the Illuminati or any of that stuff.
Really?
This is when I was 20.
The banking elite.
Yeah, but would this be considered like Hollywood
system.
stuff?
Well, it got into all that. You're talking about what?
Well, just Hollywood's supposedly filled with a bunch of freaking Illuminati, pedophiles, freaking
child sex trafficking, all that.
You know,
Yeah,
they make,
I was introduced to that when I was 23 years old.
well, that wouldn't be a child, but
I was young.
You point being,
But
is
naive, insecure. I'm not
but
insecure, immature.
But what you're saying is like that shit was real. Like there was
Yes.
a bunch of freaking perv parties going on.
Absolutely, and I experienced some of that, and I had
Did this
$300,000 stolen from me. My career and my relationship with Universal Studios, MTV, everything that I was doing, all crashed and burned.
Damn.
And I went into a massive depression, almost took my life,
Damn.
suicide, and I had to escape. And I went to the mountains in Vail, and I went snowboarding for about a month. And I get a phone call from my sister. She goes, "You just got a residual check from your international sales for your grind workout video." And I said, "Okay, I'll open it up." And she goes, "Well, it's $110,000. I said, "That's got to be a mistake, because there's no way we sold that many videos." And this is 30 years ago. So she made some calls and found out that MTV made a $100,000 mistake and added an extra zero to my check. I was broke. I had nothing.
It was supposed to be 11,000.
Yep. And they couldn't take it back because they mailed it.
Wow.
And I guess that's the law. And so so my family and everybody came together, and they're like, "Look, you have an opportunity here. Don't blow it. We got to move past this." So I came back and then started an entertainment company, and John and I developed an exercise device together that we were going to, sell. And that's when the Grandmaster came into the picture, was at that rock bottom, this party that we were at in LA. That was an all-nighter, burning it both ends. And I knew I needed help. And
he was in a bad way. He was extremely self-destructive with his drug use and behavior. He was losing. There was something off about him. Like his friends started worrying about him, and I started worrying about him, and everyone was really concerned. He was just out of control. Eric is one of those guys that I was like a medium level adrenaline guy. Like I like to go fast, but I don't want to go too fast. Mm-hmm. Eric went so much faster than me, climbed higher, jumped from the higher cliff, climbed higher wherever we were climbing, went faster wherever we were going fast. It was always just 10 levels up.
Do you think it was to compete with the older brother?
No fear. Yeah, I felt like I needed to have no fear. There was a part of it about being accepted and wanting him to love me. I idolized this guy. He was my Michael Jordan. And I wanted to be wherever he was. I wanted to wear what he was wearing. I wanted to talk the way that he was talking. I wanted to be around his friends. And my mom pushed that on him.
Yeah.
And he couldn't handle.
Bring your brother.
Bring your brother.
Exactly. And he couldn't handle how much I loved him.
Yeah.
So he would tease me and make fun of me, and he would do stuff to me that would push me to this point where I would break inside and have temper tantrums. I tried to kill him a couple of times.
I didn't want him to want to hang out with me. So I was trying to be a little bit of a dick to him so he wouldn't want to hang out, but it never worked. It backfired. And then what I didn't realize is how much damage I was doing to my little brother, who I loved, because we were, even though I teased him and picked on him a lot, we were doing everything together. Like we were, when I wasn't with my boys or he wasn't with his crew, we were like two peas in a pod. You know, we're playing ball, we're throwing the football in the house, we did Guinness Book of World Record attempts. Like we were tight. Yeah. But I did that to try to push him away because I didn't want him seeing what I was doing. I was doing bad things. I was mischievous. I was, you know, we were stealing. We were just bad. Me and my boys were just some bad kids. I was drinking alcohol at 13, 14,
Damn.
starting to smoke weed, you know, just bad stuff. And I didn't want my little brother exposed to that. So my method of getting him not to want to be with me was tease him.
Yeah.
And it was just a dickhead thing to do. And I hurt him a lot, and it strained our relationship for a while.
Yeah, but that's all. I mean, I would say that to me, 13 to 14 is a little bit young. Like I didn't start that shit till I was like 16, 17. Mm-hmm. 13, 14 is a little bit young, but like I was a younger brother to where like I always wanted to hang out, but they just flat wouldn't fucking let me.
Oh, really?
And my dad didn't say shit. Like he didn't care. But I know exactly where you guys were. Nice. And the cool part though is like after you live a little bit and you look back, you know, like to me, I don't think, you know, trying coke is a big deal, but maybe that's just our generation. Like maybe nowadays people think that shit was big deal. I think it was normal.
Right.
Same with us, where we came from. That's what was normal.
Everyone was doing.
Everybody
it.
was doing.
At least our circles.
Like, oh, you did what?
Right.
You know, I dropped out in the 11th grade. Oh, what happened? Like, didn't everybody fucking drop out in the 11th grade?
But he was extreme. Like it was like, dude, come on, slow down. You're taking a little bit too far. There was not go till 2, 3 in the morning and then go to sleep and then wake up the next day. And, you know, this guy's going 3, 4 days. That to me seemed a little bit excessive and dangerous.
Did you stop while you were doing Real World?
The only reason that I stopped doing, I have this switch that I can turn off and turn on. And so if I had a responsibility, I had a job, something big coming up, I could turn it off. But when I was on Real World, I was on probation. And so I had to go get drug tested and I had to do community service. So the timing of Real World and when I got in trouble, it just lined up perfectly. So I wasn't using when I was on the show.
That's probably a good thing.
Oh, yeah. Divine.
So yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, that shit. But when that show kicked off, dude, it was pretty big. Like Real World, MTV, Real World. It started getting real. What do you do when you put a bunch of people in a house and they start to get real? Which is funny too, because you know that's my thing. Real. I like Real World got pretty fucking big.
Yeah, I mean, it changed the landscape forever. Changed.
Were you recognized all over?
Well, when the grind happened, that was a completely different animal. Real World was one type of fame. Grind fame, now you're talking music, artists, dancing, nightlife, that whole
and rockstar fame's different.
Rockstar fame's completely different. And that's what I went into and experienced. So I'm hanging out with Biggie and all these different people, you know, all the biggest stars of the 90s. And the show was in 90 million homes around the world. That was the second biggest watched show at that time behind Baywatch. Baywatch was 100 million, and we were 90 million. So, yeah, all over the world, wherever I went, people...
And how are you connected to Baywatch?
Nice segue. I dated Pamela Anderson for about a year.
That's a great...
Yeah, see, like, and there was some other ones, wasn't there? Some other celebrity girlfriends.
Alyssa Milano.
Yeah, Alyssa Milano. Mm-hmm. Who else? Any other ones? And there's probably a million we don't even know about that never really got famous.
Yeah.
Not that you were with a million girls, but my point is when you get that kind of fame, I don't think people understand how many options flood in. Like if Pam Anderson is a fucking option, you're doing pretty good. Wouldn't you agree? And now other celebrities, they're options.
Yeah. Like, well, the door is open.
Right.
Every door is open. Now you can go wherever you want. You can do whatever you want. You can get in wherever you want to go. especially at that time. And that's what we experienced.
And everyone's coming at you. Everyone was coming at him. Everyone wanted a piece of him. Whether it was a girl wanted to go to bed with him, guys wanted to go to bed with him, guys wanted to beat the shit out of him, guys jealous of him, managers wanted to manage him. And people that had, agendas came into his world.
It's like vultures.
This one dude,
and that's what happened.
This one dude wrecked him, man.
Yep.
Brainwashed him. It was like,
what was the dude's rectum got to do with it?
A lot. That's another podcast.
Yeah, a whole nother podcast. But the reason I'm kind of poking at that, because I want the people that are listening to understand, like, attention gets you access, and access gets you wealth. The difference is access can get you wealth, but wealth can also get you access. So if you're not already worth billions and millions and millions, how do you get that? Well, attention, fame. The fame, you don't even have to be rich.
Yep.
You get famous where everybody knows you. Boom, you get the access. The access will get you rich.
Yeah,
just that publicity.
And I didn't.
If
I
you'd
didn't
have known
have
now,
that knowledge.
Yeah, of course.
I know what you're going to say.
Not.
I didn't have that knowledge.
Of course
back
not.
then.
But don't you wish you could? Well, you're about to redo it. Now you have it.
Well, here we are, Brad.
Yeah. Well, because again,
how did this happen? Why am I sitting here with you?
Well, I can tell you.
I just heard about you a few days ago. Ironically. Or divinely.
I would say divinely, because you're about to go relive it. I think.
Who gets to do that?
Not
30
many.
years later.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Not many. And it's
full circle.
I wonder why is 30 years the thing? Because they're coming out with something. It's 30 years ago. Oh yeah, Coming to America.
Yeah.
That was 30 years ago.
Really?
And yeah, because I remember watching her just the other day. One of the actresses said, "Who knew when we were making Coming to America that 30 years later we'd be coming out with another one? Who would have known?"
They've run out of content.
Yeah.
Well, because of COVID.
Well,
I don't know.
I heard Netflix will fuck you go make something with your iPhone in the backyard if it's good enough. Netflix will put it up there.
Yeah.
It's like you ever see the memes that say I'm done with Netflix, meaning I've watched everything.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but this stuff is exciting because now you do know a bunch of shit. Now you're not going to get knocked off and freaking spun off. And how old were you when you were on there? 23?
I turned 21 on the show.
Yeah, so I mean, dude, that's just most
Baby.
21-year-old kids are not ready for that shit. Mm-hmm. Some of them it happens when they're 7. And what do? Well, they end up committing suicide, dude.
Yeah, bad
they end up fucking,
That was me.
Bad shit.
River Phoenix. I mean, Farley. All these. There's a lot of young kids, in the 90s that overdosed. I mean,
it's the way people treat you. It's a strange phenomenon, that fame. When people are coming at you, watching it from the outside. I was always worried about him because I would see the assholes gathering around and talking about him. And one guy, he almost got killed. One dude punched him in the face.
Yeah, I had a brain aneurysm. Blindsided. He was jealous guy. I was in a bar doing an appearance. He came out of nowhere. Didn't see him coming. Hit me in the back of the head, and then I went down and I hit the front of my head. I had blood on my brain. And,
internal bleeding. Yeah, it was so these are the things that I would witness. I was always like the protector. I was watching I would always find a position in the clubs or wherever we were just to watch and scope it out to make sure everything was cool. And so many times it wasn't. I would see how these guys are acting, and there were many times that I had to go over and try to diffuse a situation before it got out of control. But yeah, these guys, we got in fights and stuff like that. It was like dudes are just jealous and they can't handle it. Even good friends and family even didn't even know how to act, around him. It was like weird. I'm like, who are you? Why are you talking to him like that? It was like you want to smack people. Like, dude, he didn't change. He's the same. He was humble. He was cool. He was loving. He was kind, accommodating. And then other people just start acting like fools. I was like, what's happening here? It's a weird phenomenon, fame. Very strange.
But it's addicting. More addicting than any drug, I would say.
Probably.
Having those options. So is that what happened? You say the manager got involved, and then did those options, did they somehow you know, cut them off for you?
Yeah, no, not completely. I had a show with Universal Studios. It was going to be the first time. It was called Eric's Place, and it was me living with people in a house, and then celebrities would come over and flip burgers in the backyard, you know, make music in our studio and stuff. So they fell away pretty quickly, but the taste in my mouth for the entertainment industry, you know, I was like, I don't really want to deal with these people anymore, because I was known at that time for confronting corporate media, for calling it what I saw it. And I would go on shows where they would say, hey, you know, you've been quoted for saying that MTV is really corporate. And I was like, because at that time I felt like a number. I didn't feel like I was Eric Nies with a heart and a central nervous system, and they actually cared about me, because I would bring projects to them and they'd be like, nah, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks. And so, you know, I was butting heads with them and just didn't understand how to play the game. I didn't have anybody advising me. And, you know, that...
They weren't paying millions back then either, were they?
I got paid nothing. I got paid nothing.
He sold 1.5 million copies of a workout video. What'd they give you, a penny?
I don't know. I
It
don't
was
remember
like
what I got, but it was small.
chump change.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, looking back, but guess what? Who cares, right? At
Oh,
the end of
I
the
don't
day,
care
who
at
fucking
all.
cares?
Especially after what happens next.
Yeah.
So what happens next?
Well, we meet the Grandmaster.
Now let's just tell the bomb squad, who is the Grandmaster?
The Grandmaster is an 8th generation Chinese, or he's from Vietnam, but he was an 8th generation Grandmaster of Chinese medicine, acupuncture, 21 Den black belt, 3 different martial arts, Grandmaster of the sword, Grandmaster of the I Ching, Feng Shui. His mom was the queen of the mountain people in Vietnam. His family's dynasty was ruling when the communists moved into Vietnam. He knew that they were coming months before. He hid all of his, all of the artifacts and all of the sacred teachings and scrolls and secret Bibles and all this stuff in caves and underground. They captured his family.
Killed his mother.
Killed his mother right in front of him and his brothers. The queen. She said to them.
This is the Viet Cong.
Who's they? Oh, the Viet
Cong.
They said. She said to her children, they're going to come here. They're going to want everything. Don't give it to them, and they're going to kill me. And so that's exactly what happened. They watched that happen to their mom. They tortured him and his brothers for about a year. They cut his Achilles.
Well,
nailed him down to boards.
Hold on. He was fighting with the Americans in the Vietnam War, and he's this ridiculous, you know, martial arts, ground warfare master of the sword, and he's doing damage. Him and his whatever you call it, his
crew,
his whatever they're called, and the Viet Cong find out about him. So they went in and invaded his village and then waited for him to show up. And that's when they did all that. They captured him and his brother, killed the mother, killed some of the other people, and took him captive and tortured him. And then they threw him in the jungle.
Well, he escaped. They nailed him down to a board. They cut his Achilles so he couldn't fight. He couldn't kick. And he knew that he was going to die. He's like, if I stay here, I'm going to die and it's over. So he escaped, went into the jungle, and he healed himself, because when he seared his Achilles back together with the iron rod,
right,
he said he died 3 times.
3 times, yep.
And left his body, and he was above looking down at his body at all the maggots and everything, like eating all the pus off of what happened on the flies and everything on his leg. And then he came back down into his body with more abilities and more understanding.
He had to cauterize his Achilles. It was
now, did you guys ever doubt this dude at all?
No.
Did you say,
well,
let me see your heel? Let me see your heel.
Here's what
was there
happened.
At least a scar there?
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah,
we're visiting.
Scar.
He tells us a story, and he's visiting. We're visiting, the 4 of us. And Sal wasn't in the room. It was me, Jack, and Eric. And Eric said, and he goes, oh, yeah, look, my scar. And he goes, I'm very lucky because they left a teeny little bit they didn't cut all the way through. If they cut all the way through, I was done. But they left a little bit of the tendon, so he was getting gangrene, he said, so he had to cauterize. He found a metal rod. He started a fire and passed out from the pain. That's what he said. He died 3 times. And then Eric goes, oh, can you still kick? And this was the first of not many demonstrations that he demonstrated superpowers. He turned Eric's chair. We're sitting at a dining room table. So he turned Eric's chair, who was at the head of the table. I was directly on the other side of him, facing him. And Jack, our friend, turned his chair. And Grandmaster got into a quick karate stance. And that's all you saw with your eyes was him getting to the karate stance. Then you heard, psh, and you saw Eric go, whoa, whoa. And I go, what was that? He goes, I don't know. He hit me. And he goes, oh. No one saw it, the 3 of us, and we didn't see anything.
I was standing right in front of him. He was,
and then he lifts his foot and puts it back up off. This is a 61-year-old man. He puts his foot up to Eric's temple, and he goes, "Yeah, I kick you. If I wanted to, I kill you." And Eric's got a red dot that comes onto his temple, and we were like, "What? What just happened?" He goes, "Yeah, I kick you." And no one saw it. It was so fast, like a flash of...
It's like lightning, bro. It was like Bruce Lee. You ever watch the videos of Bruce Lee where they slow it down to see his hand move? It was like that.
Right.
So this guy's a legit Grandmaster.
Dude, this guy could do things. It was scary, man. And he was a little guy. He was a little guy. He looked like you would look at him and go, I'll wreck that dude. And he'll beat up me, you, and all of our friends. You bring 10, I'll bring 10, he'll bring 10. We'll go into a room. We'll all be dead within about 3-4 minutes.
He's been studying his whole life.
Since he was 2 years old.
When did he come here from there?
So in the jungle, he heals himself. He goes back to the prison camp, pretends that he's hurt, but he's fine. Pretends that he's hurt because he wants to see if his brother's still alive in there. And a Jeep pulls up, 4 Viet Cong get out, young kid, he goes, has a rifle, and he's like all long hair and scraggly and dirty. He's been living in the jungle for 3 years to heal himself. So the guy comes and he takes the butt of his gun and he whacks him with it. And he goes, I could have easily caught it and killed him, but I wanted to go inside. So he took the shot and goes in. He's sure enough, his brother's there. And him and his brother planned an escape, and they escaped. And I forget the route that he took. Do you remember?
No.
But he went to somewhere like Cambodia and then somewhere else and got a boat. And then he said, I came to America, and they welcomed me. And me and my brother are both doctors now, and America's been very kind to us. And I help people and train. You know, I cure people with my herbs and my knowledge. And he had his acupuncture abilities and his herbs and his steam and his practices were just unlike anything. And Eric more than me, because my life trajectory was a lot different. I had a child, and so my life changed. Eric was more free, had a lot more freedom, so he would go a lot more than me. But the time that I spent there, we would see not only see him treating patients, but we would assist. I gave massages to women that had cancer and tumors, and he helped make herbs. And
did you ever see the cancers go away?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people say there's the cancer has no cure, dude. We already know there's cures.
Yeah, no,
that's not true. He cured everybody of everything.
Look at Dr. Sebi.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing is like people get too caught up in that's just conspiracy. No, there's some real shit. And obviously, if I'm making trillions of dollars in the pharmaceutical, I don't want you to know that chewing on that fucking leaf will get rid of your cancer.
Well,
I want you to come buy my shit.
Exactly, and he also said to us, please be very careful with who you talk to about me and what I do here, because they don't want to know. They, meaning the pharmaceuticals and whoever's in charge of, the industry that cancer is and cancer.
Well, again, that treatments might be connected to Hollywood. Like they're all connected. You know, the question is to what extent and what's real and what's not. Like I've literally heard stories about people going down into deep underwater military, or not underwater, deep underground military bases.
Yeah.
They're called DUMBs.
And DUMBs, the DUMBs.
And they're straight up fucking live aliens in there. And one dude says alien freaking beam came out of his ass, blew my shit open, my chest open, and you know, he's got big old wounds on his chest.
Wow.
Like so it's like you never know what is real.
Yeah.
But you know one thing's real. All of this is like an illusion or a dream, isn't it? Isn't it?
Well, that's what one of the last things that my Grandmaster said to me before he passed was that you'll see in the future, you'll know this is all an illusion.
Hey, and by the way, folks, just in case you're not already aware, boy, there's some shit we're going to talk about. You guys want to follow these guys. Eric's Instagram currently doesn't have a blue check mark. Probably will by the time we drop this, but is in a few days. I mean, that shows out. You're going to get that, I'm pretty sure. But right now, folks, it's at Eric Nies, Nies 333. Why 333? Is that a numerology thing?
That's about the angel numbers that I just shared with you before we started.
Yeah, so Eric Nies, Nies 333. Go follow him right now on Instagram. Watch this second wave unfold. And then John's is at John Richard Nies on Instagram. And then you guys can find them. Just Google their ass. They pop up all over Google. Yeah. That's just in case I forget. Because I've been forgetting to drop bombs. Normally when you say something was... drop a bomb so people listen, but I don't think anyone's... I bet you there's people still sitting in their car late for work because they don't want to shut this bitch off. This is gonna be a freaking ongoing episode.
Yeah,
Right.
This is just part one.
Grandmaster used to do things with me where I would go be with him for a few weeks, do some training, and as I'm leaving the house, he would say, when you go home, 2 men are going to come up to you. Don't trust them. Don't trust them. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you'll know. And I'm riding my bicycle down 5th Avenue. 2 guys pull me over in a car, tell me that they work for Tommy Hilfiger and they want to, offer me, something. And in that moment, I was like, oh, these are the 2 guys Grandmaster was talking about. And I was like, no, thanks, guys. Move on. Yeah, it was incredible the things that we experienced with him.
So almost supernatural shit.
Oh,
Supernatural.
He could travel. He could leave his body at will. This one is incredible. I'm doing my training with him, and we used to train from 7 in the morning until 7 o'clock at night with a half-hour lunch break, and it was nonstop. We would not
hour
stop.
on, 20 minutes off, hour on, 20 minutes off, hour on, 20 minutes off from 7 to 7.
And so we started learning this Taekwondo kick. We call it a power kick. And the first time he asked us if we wanted to do it, how many kicks you want to do? And you want to do 25, 50, 100. So I'll do 50. Well, the next thing you know, a couple of days later, he says, well, how many kicks you want to do? 3,000, 4,000, or 5,000? And of course, at that time, you're always going to give the high number. So I say to him, all right, I'll do 5,000. He's looked at me, he goes, you think you can do that? And I said, I don't know. I'll give it a try. So this day, a couple of days before that, I had to do like 3,000 kicks. And my hips, my legs, my body was broken. I was so tired and so exhausted that I had to wake up the next morning to kick again. So I had my alarm set, ready to go, 6:30, alarm goes off, and I'm laying in my bed, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I do not want to get up and kick again. I'm just going to lay here for another 15 minutes, and then I'll get up and I'll start. I put my head back down on the pillow. I'm by myself outside in a completely separate room from the house of where
Separate building.
Separate building. And I put my head back down on the pillow, and next to me on the wall goes like this. And I, popped up like, what was that? I thought I was hearing things. And I was like, no, I must be hearing things. I put my head back down again, louder. He could manipulate energy with his spirit body from a distance. He was telling me, you get up and kick. And I got up and I kicked. He would come up to us many, many, many times and ask us a question, or we would be talking about something or doing something, and he would know what we were thinking.
Oh yeah,
always.
When I years after, 8 years after I started training, 8 years after I got cut from the Bills, a buddy of mine comes into my gym, and I'm doing these kicks, and you kick over your head. My leg was like way up over the side of my head, and he brought a buddy in to do the workout with us, and the guy looks at me and he's like, "Dude, how come?" And he knew I was a punter. And he goes, "Dude, you can still kick way. What's that? Like, that's crazy, bro. Your kick's like, what?" And he goes, "Why aren't you in the NFL?" I said, "I don't know. I just hadn't had a chance." He goes, "You want to try out? My brother's girlfriend is Mara, daughter of the owner of the Giants. I can get you a tryout tomorrow." I was like, "Seriously?" So I was like, "All right, let me go back out to Grandmasters. I'll have them train me for a month. And I'll give it a shot. I'll get back in the NFL one more time." So they arranged it. I got a tryout with the Giants. I tell my family I'm going to go live and train in San Jose. Grandmaster's going to get me ready. First day, I'm up there, and he has me do 2,000 of these kicks. Not those kicks, a different kick. And it was like a little dinky little thing. Lift your leg and point out. Lift your leg and kick out. 1,000 on the right leg, 1,000 on the left leg. And another thing that he would do all the time, I don't know if that happened with you or not, I'd be on like 995, and he'd come out the door. I'm counting in my head, 996, 997. He's coming up the stairs, 998. On 2,000, he'd be standing next to me. I go, "That's 2,000. He goes, "I know." So the next day, I'm locked down. My hip flexors, my knees, my quads, my glutes, I could barely walk. And he goes, "Okay, today you do the original kick, 1,000. And I'm like, "Oh, no." And I'm miserable. And I'm up there on the rooftop of he had an indoor dojo, and then we trained up on the roof. And I'm up there training. He would give us assignments for like an hour, and then he'd come give you some other assignment and then another assignment. So he kept giving me assignments, and I wasn't doing it. I was doing a fraction. I'd do like 10 minutes. I'm stretching. I'm rubbing my legs. I'm in my head the whole day. I miss my family already. What am I doing here? I left my business. I already owned a gym. I was like, "What? I'm crazy thinking I could get back in the NFL. This was a mistake. Why am I here?" Blah, blah, blah. All day. This is a 7-hour day up there. Eric shows up the next day. It was my third day of training, and we're in the kitchen, and he goes, "Eric, come here." And he goes, "I don't think your brother going to make it back in the NFL." And Eric's like, "Why? What do you mean?" He doesn't want to do the training. And Eric looked at me like shocked, because I was always down for training. And he goes, "Really? What do you mean?" And he goes, "Whole day yesterday, he up there not doing anything." And he wasn't up there with me. I didn't see him the whole day, except for when he would come up to tell me what to do next. And he said, he rubbing his legs, he's stretching, I miss my wife, I miss my daughter, and verbatim, the things that I was thinking in my head, he's telling Eric what I was thinking. And it was true. And the guy had that ability to read your mind verbatim, and not only read your mind, but he knew about things that you did in your life. So if you had an experience, like my mom, for example, he said fell down the stairs, slipped and fell when I was in the womb, 8 months pregnant, and I hit my head, and I had some internal bleeding, and I had a dry spot of blood on my brain that was affecting my memory. And I struggled. He said, "You struggle in school your whole life, right? How many years you're in school? The whole time you think you're stupid." And I called my mom, and my mom gasps, "Oh my God, yeah, I knew that you were hurt. How'd you know this?" And so it was like, this is 2-3 samples of hundreds of examples that this guy had these powers that were just like not what we know as reality. So it's hard for people to believe, but when you hear about what he did and his life, he was meditating from the time he was 3 for hours. By the time he was 9, he was already putting acupuncture needles in patients.
Especially because of this passed down
Yeah.
ancient knowledge. What?
That's what he said. We have secrets that had been passed down in my family, in my
Eastern medicine, Eastern.
We had, he called them keys to the universe. We had keys to the universe. So these he could meditate and unlock, certain keys to the universe, like Akashic records. Are you familiar with Akashic records? Everything you, him, I, Penny, Awesome Penny, anyone that we all have a library. He called it a library, but they're known as Akashic records. Akashic. Everything you've ever done, thought, spoken, experienced is in your library.
Sure.
And because he's the person that he is, the healer that he is, he can access your library to go in and see what went on in your life or past lives. And then he would tell you, oh, this is what happened to you. Your mom fell down the stairs. You have a thing on don't worry, I fix it. Or you did so many drugs, your blood like mud, and you, don't worry, I fix it. Or you slept with 3 women on menstrual cycle. This no good. Like,
is that no good?
Yeah, he said the impurities would get into if you're not wearing a condom, which I wasn't, the impurities, the suction, a little bit goes in the hole, and then the skin is like a sponge. So whatever you put on your skin, a little bit going to get inside. So that's the woman's impurities, cleansing everything out for her, for the next cycle. And that's no good for you. It takes your power. It takes 9 weeks to build your power, your chi.
Well, see, I'm glad I'm not one of those freaking dirty dogs. Like, I mean, not that I haven't.
I wasn't either, but I was drunk and desperate.
Well, haven't we all been? But my point is like,
but to know the specific number,
that's a turn on them. They're doing it too many times.
Oh, yeah.
Because, dude, I happen to believe, like, if this dude said it, I'm going to freaking believe it.
Exactly.
I mean, these are the type of things that, personally, a lot of people are like, come on. Well, that's only because they didn't understand. They weren't there. They don't understand. You guys got convinced through your eyes,
right.
not your ears.
I use this as an analogy, okay? Look at your phone. This phone, we have in the palm of our hand, we have a computer that the information, we can go anywhere. I could talk to anyone, anywhere. A human being thought of that and created that, a group of human beings, whoever the designers and engineers were, but they had the ability to do that. So if you didn't ever see a phone, and then I said to you, oh, Brad, what do you think? I tell you the story about the cell phone. You'd be like, whatever. How can you question anybody to have an ability if we all know that a human being invented something and created something like that? How can you even question that I'm telling these stories about this guy that I witnessed to have powers like that too?
Yeah. Well, like a miraculous power to me is like cut yourself. And just get a time lapse and watch
it heal.
Your shit repairs itself.
Life.
Like, that's mad. You break that phone, it don't repair itself.
Oh,
like
dude.
This might be miraculous, but dude, a human being is miraculous.
Let me tell you, the stuff that I've seen in ayahuasca ceremonies and sitting in Vipassana meditation.
Yeah, see, like, dude, this is another, like,
that's a whole other,
dude, this is a series of bombs we're gonna be putting on here, folks. And if you guys can't always make it up, shit, we'll just zoom it. We got to keep going through this because there's too much. You guys right now are a wealth of knowledge, and my whole mission in life is to get the knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. Because in my opinion, the reason why people fail, screw up, lose is because they don't fucking have the right information.
Yeah.
I know that's why I did. Like, now that I know, oh shit, I was a dumbass. Well, I didn't know, but now you know. Yeah. So imagine, how do we make the world a better place?
And that's what this is all about right now, is that there are billions of people that are on this planet right now that are sleeping, and they call this, there's the bomb, they call this the elders and the wisdom keepers and the indigenous people. They have prophecies and they have visions about what's happening on this planet. They call this the time of the great awakening, the great purification.
That's right.
Well, the question is, what are we purifying and what are we awakening from? And this journey,
did the illusion Grandmaster tell us
the illusion? But no,
you bastards better not say he never revealed shit to you.
What Grandmaster did,
dude, there's so much information.
Well, let's go. Brother. Let's start cracking into some of it.
I say this humbly, and Amazing Penny's laughing there because I have to remind myself and even the people that I'm talking to humbly. But what I've personally experienced over the last 30 years of my life, I believe that I have the information and the answer to liberate souls from their own suffering and for this planet to awaken.
Well, then let's get it out there.
And there are individuals, there are humans that have walked this earth before. They call them ascended masters. People like Buddha and Kuan Yin and Jesus and, you know, Gandhi or
his name wasn't Jesus, just so you know.
Right.
Whatever.
His name was Yahshua.
Yahshua.
That's a whole nother episode.
That is, yeah.
I'm not attached to labels or titles or any of that stuff. What I'm interested in is my soul's journey, where my soul came from, where my soul is going. Everything else to me is just a distraction.
Yeah.
It's just a distraction. What I am interested in is emotion, emotional content. I want to understand emotion. Why? I'm a being of light that came to this planet where there are 4 elements: air, water, fire, and earth. And then there's the brain. How does my brain interact with the 4 elements that my physical body is made up of? What happens to me when I have emotionally traumatic experiences in my life? And I didn't grow up in an environment with people around me to help me to understand how to process those emotions. We are emotional beings.
We're told to shove it down. Don't cry. You know, don't be emotional. Boys don't cry.
Feel.
Be tough.
Don't feel.
Yeah.
I believe, this is just my own belief and my own perception of my experiences that I've had in my life. I believe that that's the reason why we came to this planet.
Is to feel?
Is to feel. Is to feel. If you want to change your life, if you want to transform your life, if you want to awaken from the slumber, find the courage and the strength to fearlessly, objectively observe your emotions. Observe the sensations in your body. This is what Buddha did. Buddha sat under a tree quietly, patiently for 40 days without eating any food, drank water. This is what was left behind. These are the teachings that were left behind, right? Why did he do that? Why has his name lasted throughout the ages? Right? There must be a reason.
And Jesus did it too.
And this is what they did.
Or Joshua.
This is what these ascended
That's right.
masters did. They addressed their fears. They addressed their judgments of themselves and of others. They observed.
They awoke.
They observed themselves objectively in silence, and they went inside. They looked within themselves. They were feeling what was happening inside of them. So what I think happens to us, our soul, which has had thousands of experiences being human from one life to the next, to the next, to the next, right? So the physical body holds energy. Okay, these 4
and that's
elements.
proven. That's scientific shit.
That's right.
Yep.
Holds energy. The sun, the water, the wind, the earth, right? When the sun shines its light on a rock, it gets hot, right? So the energy of the sun is now inside that rock. When the sun shines its light on the water and the water gets hot, it evaporates and it goes up into the sky, and then it condenses and then forms clouds, and then the clouds drop that water back down onto the earth, right? Well, what happens with the soul? What information does the soul carry with it?
All of it. Universal intelligence.
It's collective consciousness,
Yeah, that's
even consciousness. No, not one scientist, not one brilliant mind walking on this planet can explain to you what consciousness is. Can't do it. Are we conscious beings? Are we connected to each other consciously? What does that mean? How are our souls connected to each other? I know how I'm connected to you.
I don't know if they're connected. I think they might be the same.
This is a great topic for conversation, because we're seeing right now in the world more separation and division that we've ever seen ever on the planet. Why is that? Who actually is out there asking, why are we so separated? What are we separated from? What's the lie? What's the information?
And who would want such a thing?
And who would want such a thing? Because I know that with my soul, this is my biological brother, but you're also my brother, connected soul to soul. Our heart beats the same. Our minds think differently, but we kind of look alike. We're made up of the same elements.
We could be a unique expression of the same thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I believe that that's the reason why we're here on this planet, is to liberate ourselves from our own suffering. This is what our Grandmaster taught us. This is what the shamans in the jungles talk about. This is what the elders talk about, the wisdom keepers, the grandmothers, the grandfathers. There is a knowledge. There's information how to do that.
Yeah.
How to do it.
But the Grandmaster was in possession of this knowledge.
Let me bring in another angle. All right. So Grandmaster, when I told you that Grandmaster drops bombs of wisdom on us.
Dude, if the Grandmaster was still living, I'd be like, dude,
let's go.
We're going to the Grandmaster. I'll live with his ass for the next 20 years if I could.
I tried to put him on camera.
He wouldn't allow it?
And when we went to look at the footage, he wasn't on it.
Shut up.
Yes.
You filmed him, and then when you looked at the footage, he wasn't there?
I brought 5 kids. I brought 5 kids who lost their parents in the World Trade Centers, and I was working on a documentary called Voices of Inspiration, and I wanted to bring these children to meet Grandmaster so he could talk to them and just ask them questions and stuff. We filmed him with the kids, and he was not on the film.
That's crazy. So,
and I asked him about it later, and he go, yeah, I don't want that.
Hey, let me tell you something. There's people listening. I call them skeptics that are saying, come on, no way.
Yeah.
Of course.
We're taught to be skeptical.
Of course.
We're taught to question. And I don't know why when you look at some people's religions, those are easy enough for you to believe. Mm-hmm. Why isn't anything else?
It's a program.
Yeah.
It's a subconscious
program.
Well,
the ego also attaches
to a limiter. It's a governor.
To what it's subjected to. So, that sounds good to me. So I'm going to believe in that. I'm going to fight for that. I'll die for that. That's just all ego. So I was full of ego and vanity and lost and disconnected and a mess when I met Grandmaster. And one of the bombs that he dropped on me was to go within. Stop looking outside of yourself for what you're looking for, John. It's inside. Everything.
See, I say that shit all the time.
Everything you need, everything you're looking for is inside you. So I went away with that thought. Okay, so now I've spent years analyzing what does that mean? What does that mean? And what does that mean to me? And to add to all those beautiful words that he just spoke about, I went inside myself to find the essence of who I was. I was looking out into the world and becoming who I thought I was supposed to be by what I was observing, by society, by television, by my football coaches, by my teachers, by my religious leaders and the priests and whoever. They're all feeding me their ideas, and I'm attaching to that outside myself. But when I went inside myself and got quiet and started meditating and started praying and started connecting to a spirit world that I didn't even know existed until I met Grandmaster. I heard about angels and God and all this, but as a young mind, I didn't know how to process that. So as I got into a more mature mind and started evolving, I started to understand that what I was looking for was what we would consider God, because I think that we are made not in the image of God, we're made in the imagination of God. God, we are an expression of God's love and beauty and creation. God created everything that we can't even begin to contemplate the enormity of what creation is. And that's why big thinkers, most of them are the atheists, because they can't wrap their mind around it. That's not what it's about. It's not about understanding it. You'll never understand it. You have to feel it and believe it and know it, that God exists. And when you find that and when you tap into that, you lose your fear. And I was riddled with fear my entire life. I didn't like myself. I was self-conscious. I compared myself to others, and I always put myself at the bottom rung. When I did that, he's better looking, he's smarter, he's funnier, he gets the girls, he's a better athlete. And even though I was decent at all those things, it was all ego. And so now when I lost the ego and went into myself and found that and found God within myself, I don't need anyone. I don't need you to tell me that I'm good or great. I know what I'm good and great at. And you know what I'm good and great at? Loving. I love better than, and as good, not better, as good as anyone, as the greatest lover on earth. And I'm talking about brotherhood love. I'm talking about friendship. I'm talking about kindness. I'm talking about compassion. I'm talking about altruism. All of those things were birthed from within me after I started applying what I learned from Grandmaster.
And can we classify that as being awake?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it feels good. It's peace.
It feels great.
It's happy. It's peace. It's I'm cool. I'm content. I'm like, I love life. I'm just alive and happy.
Dude, this Grandmaster sounds like he knows some shit. Now, maybe it's what I like to call, I forget the word right now, but it's when you search for vindication through what other people are saying. It's like a cognitive bias. It'll come to me, but because everything you're saying that he's saying and that you guys believe, I'm saying yes. Why? Well, because that's what I say.
Right.
That is what I say.
Yeah.
All that shit. I've not disagree with any of it, and I guarantee you, I've said all of it.
Beautiful.
I tell people, like, follow me on social media, go back to the beginning and watch them all, and you'll be like, fuck yeah, that's what the Grandmaster used to say. That's, I mean, like, maybe I'm a freaking, what do you call it?
You are
Ancient spirit walking.
You're woke,
you are,
bro.
and I'm just not awoke. No, well, I'm just not aware.
You are
yet.
a limitless potential being of light that is in this earth suit. You are a limitless potential being of light
And by the way,
love in an earth suit.
Dude, you got to shine. You got a light that's shining bright. I saw it from as soon as I walked in through the other room.
Yeah, my light shines pretty
this
bright.
This is our guy.
but just for everybody listening, it's not me they're talking about, folks. You individually, us all. We're all what he just described.
You, me, we. Muhammad Ali said it.
Yeah.
You, me, we.
We are the light we see.
All
in
of
others.
us. All of us. Black, white, yellow, red. We're all we.
Yeah.
Get it through your heads, people. We're we. Stop buying into the nonsense.
Imagine if the whole world realized all at once, awoke all at once, and we all took care of each other.
Yes.
There's no hunger anymore. There's no
common.
danger anymore. There's no
how
sickness
beautiful.
anymore.
How beautiful would that be?
That's what would happen
Let's
if we
do
all
it.
woke up and realized the dude you hate, that's your fucking brother.
Yeah.
You know, all this connection,
This
connectivity.
is it.
And
Forgive.
to me, that's
Forgive
what would be
yourself.
consciousness.
Yeah.
Like wide awake, everybody.
Everybody.
It's hard. It's a hard dream to think about, only because of our convincing over the years. I call it convincing. We've been convinced,
Brainwashed.
Limited
we've
thinking.
made the decision.
We limit ourselves.
We do limit ourselves, but we've come to the decision, because it's just a decision, to believe something. Like if I tell you, hey, this is made of platinum, you based on what you know and your past experience, you would either believe me or not. Mm-hmm. If you didn't know what platinum was and you totally trusted me, you'd believe that was platinum. And guess what? For a minute, it would be. Why? Well, because what the fuck is platinum? Who agreed what platinum is? Maybe that's fucking platinum.
Yeah.
We have to agree, right, to make the agreement that it is what it is.
Right.
So I think, if people ever just kind of woke up and realized all this shit is stupid, we would live in, as people might call, heaven on earth.
Yeah.
But it's just so, you think, it's never going to happen. Why? Well, because that's why.
Right there.
That's why. Because
That's right.
Yeah, limit.
I believe with every cell in my body and the existence of whatever it is that I am, that is happening. It's happened, and we are now waking up to it. It's all coming in.
It's a collective consciousness.
Maybe we're all soldiers in the war. And even this podcast, like, this is going to wake some motherfuckers up.
Warriors
Guaranteed.
of the light, brother. I know a lot of brothers that are having this conversation.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's happening more and more.
My community, the community of brothers and sisters that I roll with in the ayahuasca community that go down to the jungles and drink ayahuasca night after night after night, the shamans and the maestros and maestras that I work with in the jungle, they drink ayahuasca 300 days a year.
Would you recommend that people go out and try the toad and the ayahuasca and the
Yes, but be very mindful of who's facilitating you, because the plant medicines open up a bridge not just to your subconscious mind, but to the spirit world. And we are on a planet of duality. There's light and there's dark. And when you get into the spirit world, there's dark spirits that are
come back with
we're in
you.
a spiritual warfare.
Can they come back with you?
I've had to remove a number of spirits from my body, like exorcisms. You would think that there was an exorcism taking place, like the breath of life being taken out of my body and being put back into my body to remove this spirit that attached itself to me because of an emotionally traumatic experience that I had when I was younger, where I didn't feel safe, I didn't feel protected, and I thought that I was going to lose my life. That happened one of the times with him. We used to play this karate game when we were kids, and
we get 3 shots.
We'd get three shots, whatever it was. And he's 4 years older than me. He's much bigger, much stronger. So for me to block 3 shots and to get 3 free kicks coming up, I was really excited.
I used my 3, and he didn't use any of his. So now I got to go on the defense.
And this guy,
and I'm like, uh-oh.
So I back up. I come running around the corner, get 1 foot off the coffee table. I'm going through Bruce Lee, big flying kick in the air. And this guy cheats and blasts me while I'm in the air, in my stomach. Side kick. Boom. Knocks me out. Knocks me
unconscious,
out.
dude. His eyes rolled back. I thought I killed him.
I thought, and I'm out, and I can hear him say, Mom, I think I killed Eric.
She's on the phone.
I killed Eric.
Sleep, get out of here.
And I thought that I died. I thought that I was going to die in that moment. And my little guy inside, little EJ, my inner child, called out for help. And a spirit in that moment attached itself to me. And the reason why it attached itself to me was because there were times in playing with him, as we were talking about earlier, it wasn't fair. He would control me. He would manipulate me. And I would keep coming back for more, keep coming back for more. So even though he was my greatest protector when I was a child, he was also my biggest threat. And that was really confusing for me when I was a child. I wouldn't understand any of this stuff until I went to the jungles to drink ayahuasca and in my Vipassana meditation. Because to purify my soul, to heal my soul, I had to go back into my life and look at all of those experiences. In shamanism, we call this a recapitulation, where you actually identify an emotionally traumatic experience in your life, you revisit it, you look at how you felt in that moment, and then you try to find the compassion and the empathy for what he's going through. So because I know his story, because I've reached out to him and I connect with him, right? Mm-hmm. It's that engagement. I find the courage, the strength within myself to break through the fear, the illusion of the fear, let go of the judgment, find the empathy and the compassion for what he's experienced in his life, so that I can change the frequency, the vibration of the experience, so it no longer stays with me. I let it go.
You lose the charge.
You lose the charge. And so I can do that personally in my life, where I can engage with people like this in the physical. I can go to the jungle, I can drink ayahuasca, and grandmother ayahuasca can take me back to that experience, and then I can throw it up or have diarrhea or shake or sweat or whatever it is, or I can sit quietly in Vipassana meditation and observe that frequency. And by the laws of nature, it must rise and dissolve back into the ethers. This is how you liberate yourself from your own suffering. Those are 3 ways that you can do it.
3 ways, folks. Pay attention. Now I'm gonna have them say it
Dropping
again.
bombs.
Say it again. Number one way, you go take ayahuasca.
Yeah. Well, no. First would be to connect with that person and have a loving conversation. Revisit it together.
Basically, forgive.
Forgiveness.
Forgive. That's what we're talking about.
Yep.
Okay, you got to truly forgive. Like, hey, try to figure out, have compassion as to why they might have done or said or did whatever happened.
Yeah.
So you forgive for the reason. So you're no longer holding that. And then what?
Then second, I would say you could go to the jungle. Right.
take-
So now
Go to the
I can
jungle's
do it
code
with the
for
person.
go take some plants.
So the
Plant
plant
medicine.
medicines, whether it's ayahuasca, iboga, mushrooms, bufo toad medicine, peyote ceremonies, you can do it in a sweat lodge. There's many different ways that you can do that. There's other types of medicines that can assist you in addressing fears and judgments and other things that you're carrying around in your earth suit. So there's the plant medicines, and then third would be Vipassana meditation, and that's the technique. Vipassana meditation is the technique that Buddha created and realized within himself, and that's objective observation of sensations in your body. And when you can observe them objectively, you don't judge them, you don't cling to them. So you're not judging a painful, gross sensation, and you're not attaching yourself to or chasing a blissful sensation. You find the middle lane. It's called equanimity, calm in the chaos of your mind, calm in the eye of the storm. So what I'm talking about, you can actually observe in nature. If you've ever been in a place where there's a hurricane, when a hurricane, a perfectly organized hurricane passes over you, the eye, it's calm in the center. Same thing in the very center of a tornado, it's calm. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
So you can find that place within yourself because you are nature. You are nature.
Equanimity is what it's called, though.
Yes, equanimity.
Peace.
You do this equanimously. This is a word that came from Vipassana meditation. This is a word that Buddha brought to us.
Would you say you're a Buddhist?
No.
I met a hot dog vendor in New York who he was a Buddhist. He said, "Let me make you one with everything."
That's a good one.
Did Grandmaster have an accent?
Yes, the English was very broken,
But
and
that just makes it more authentic, if you ask me.
Yeah, we've been.
he got frustrated.
Some people have suggested to us not to do his accent because we don't want to offend anybody.
Dude, one time there was a guy, he read people's futures. Now, he wouldn't do it for everybody, and everybody wanted him to do it for you, but he chose who he did it for. And one day he said to me, "If you want, I'll do it." And I said, "Oh man, that'd be awesome." But this guy didn't speak English. His buddy spoke English, but it was kind of broken English. So this guy basically said he likes you, and if you want, he'll read your future. And I'm like, hell yeah, everybody wanted him to. So I'm like, yeah. So he basically, this guy asked me questions for this guy, just a few questions, birth date, time of date, stuff like that. And this dude drew in Chinese symbols like a, almost like a tornado, you know what I mean? Like a thing, but in words all the way down to these circles. And he basically said, before I tell you your future, let me tell you your past. And he went dead balls accurate. I was like, holy shit, like there's no way. And dude, there was no way, period.
Yep.
And then he wanted my permission to tell me the future. Basically said, we can only tell you your future if you give permission. So I'm like, absolutely. And so he told me a bunch of crazy shit, and it's happening, not necessarily in the same timeline, but it's all happening.
Right.
And thankfully it was all positive, good shit.
Yeah.
But
well, look what you're doing. Look at this platform that you have that reaches thousands and thousands, potentially millions of people, to provide this type of information to assist people in healing and transforming their lives and liberating themselves from their own suffering and awakening to what's really happening on this planet. Like, this is the time, bro. This is the ascension of a planet. There's prophecies that have been in ancient scrolls and texts. They've been talking about this time for a long time. 2012, everybody thought, like, oh, that's the end of the world. It's like, no, that was the end of a certain time period, and now we're moving into a new period. Just this year,
the Great Awakening.
Just this year we moved into the age of Aquarius. I mean,
which
if you
is
don't
what
know what
I am,
that
by
is,
the way.
I am too.
January 27th is my birthday.
Oh, right on.
Happy
Aquarius.
birthday. February 13th.
That makes you an Aquarius?
Yeah.
When does that stop? Like the 10th or something? Because my brother's February 14th, I think, and he's
Aquarian.
He's a Cap. No, he's not.
Capricorn's before.
Well, he's one after.
That's Pisces.
Yeah, he missed Aquarius by that much.
Really?
Oh, so he's a Pisces?
I think so.
What is it? What's his
My
one?
Capricorn's January. Nicole,
No,
my daughter's.
he's January 14th.
Oh, yeah, that's Capricorn. Yeah. Because my daughters are Capricorn.
Yeah,
my
but everybody
wife,
says Aquarians.
My wife's January 25th. She's an Aquarian. I'm February 13th. I'm Aquarian.
All the mystical, logs tell us that Aquarians will rule the world.
That's the feminine. For real.
So
that's the awakening of the feminine. The feminine, for the first time in a very, very long time, will truly be honored. Women.
And
the feminine within men.
We men need to get our shit together with the way we treat women and objectify women and abuse women.
You might want to triple bomb that.
Yeah, boy, there's gonna be some.
Come on, man.
Love
Have
on
some
that
respect. Look at what your mom did. That's the amnesia that he spoke about earlier that we need to be reminded of. As I learned from watching my wife, what my mom did for me to give me life and to bring me. How can we disrespect a woman ever? Like, come on. That's part of the big wake up right there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bombs, bomb squad. We love you.
Oh, I get. There's an audience now. You got not a bomb, and then you got an applause.
That's right. Yeah, it's funny because I always say, how do you know God exists? People always asking the questions, and I say, well, if you ask me, the proof is a woman. Like, who could have invented such a thing?
Drop the bomb on that one.
That's proof.
It's unbelievable, man. The woman is the most incredible creation there is. Like, come on. How can we? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Now you don't.
I do get it. I do.
Well,
it's
because
we got to drop the ego.
Talk to
get over
Eric
ourselves.
And John in our 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody got a hold of the Grandmaster. Like, you guys are lucky individuals to even get a glimpse of what you got a glimpse of.
Oh, so
and
fortunate.
there's people listening to this right now going, oh, man, what? I guarantee you, as good as this is, we're going to get comments saying, hocus pocus bullshit.
That's all right.
They're dead fucking asleep, these people.
Yeah.
The ones that think, oh, this is so stupid, they're the most sound asleep.
Yeah, and those are the ones that we have to have the most empathy and compassion for.
Yeah.
It's the cynic, and that's back to the amnesia. The thing about this planet and coming here with amnesia is that if you don't do what we're talking about, you're not going to know. You have to. It's like what you were saying earlier when we first met. You have to put information into action. You could sit there and go, oh, that's not true, that's not true. And then we could say, okay, try this for a month. Do this every day for 30 days. Or do this every day for 49 days. Or do this every day for 6 months. Try this for a year. Try it for 5 years.
Try to disprove it.
Then let's have a conversation.
Right.
Because that response is ignorant.
Yeah, but did Grandmaster say that too? Because again, I say that.
Absolutely.
You know what I say? I say, listen, you don't have to believe me. Just try to disprove me. And 9 times out of 10, that will cause you to believe what I'm saying, not me. In other words, don't believe me, dude. Yeah. Try it.
You got to try it
and disprove it. Like if someone goes, it's bullshit. Well, then disprove it, and it'll prove it or disprove it.
Exactly.
I think you should be trying to disprove shit all the time.
You know what people are doing when they do that? This just came in pretty strong. When people respond that way, they're betraying their soul. when you doubt or you blame or you question something and there's a judgment and you don't back up that judgment, that's a betrayal of yourself. It has nothing to do with us. Whatever you're thinking, whatever's going on in your mind right now has absolutely nothing to do with me.
See, that's right.
Zero.
That's exactly right.
Zero. But you don't understand that, right? You know, you've had to go through a lot in your life. You know, you've had to experience a lot in your life to arrive at that place.
Yeah.
Because the reality of it is, and don't get me wrong when I say this. I have a lot of compassion and I have empathy, you know, within myself. I have a lot of love. I've always walked with that, right? I understood that a lot more when I got older. I call it being unselfishly selfish. The most important relationship that I have in my life is with myself.
Mm-hmm.
The most important relationship that I have in my life is with myself, those 4 elements, and that light that we're talking about, whatever that is, God, source, whatever that is. Personally, I don't care what you think.
That's right. That's right.
At all. I don't even care how you feel. Unless you invite me and to engage with your feelings, with your thoughts. Now I am emotionally invested. That's the work that we do. So when somebody comes to me and they say, I want to work with you, will you assist me? And I've been doing this for 16 years. I take people into the desert for a month. I disconnect them from society. And I take them through an experience that potentially can help them, assist them to realize themselves. Right?
Yeah, get to know themselves.
Get to know thyself.
Reintroduce them.
Reintroduce them to themselves,
It's one
right?
of our 7 disciplines, know thyself.
But before I do that, I sit down with them. I sit like this. I look at them. I ask them, share me your story. Where are you coming from? What's your intention? What are you going through? And then after we talk for a little while, look at them in the eye, just like this, soul to soul. And I say, when you look at me, when you look into my eye, do you trust me? What do you feel? Don't have to answer right away. Let it settle in for a little bit. Because this doesn't work unless you trust me and I trust you. The only way that we are going to assist you with liberating you from what you're going through, number one, we have to trust each other. Because the only way this works is by you being vulnerable and transparent. I need your whole story. I need everything that's happened to you and everything that you have done to other people.
And a lot of times that's where it ends.
Yeah,
That's right.
Like, fuck you. I'm not telling you I humped the neighbor's dog or,
That-
you know, any crazy shit they've done
fetishes
or had
and
shit
all
happen
that.
to them.
That's right.
And the main reason goes right back to the fear of other people's judgment.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, why would you give a rat's dick about other people's judgment? Like, worry
Because
more
you're
about your
afraid
own.
of being judged. You're afraid of being
Right.
attacked. You're afraid of being abandoned, neglected, abused, molested, raped.
But it
now,
won't. But-
now we get back to suppressed emotion.
Yeah. Well, it all boils
And
down
then
to
you
emotion.
get
Shoving it
triggered.
down.
So you get triggered, you react, you put the mask on, and you go back into hiding because you don't want anybody to know what you did or what's been done to you. But guess what? It's happened to all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the illusion. The illusion is that you think you're alone.
Yeah.
Ba-boom. You think you're alone.
Dude,
That's
you're
the
going to get a bunch of
illusion.
people wanting to reach out to you guys. Like, when you say you take people into the desert, how do the people get a hold of you?
It's usually word of mouth. I mean, now it's going to be a little bit easier for people
Yeah,
to
but
find
dude,
me.
yeah, there's
I
gonna
have
be
a website.
Yeah, there's gonna
I
be
am ericnies.com.
I am ericnies.com.
Yeah, but I'm just want to put this out there. I'm not taking on any new clients until the end of the summer because I'm going down to Peru for a couple of months. So I'll be accessible after the summer.
We're going to be virtually
Dude, listen,
available.
We're going to be virtual. With
Well, what
you
you ought to do is start taking applications while you're in Peru. Like, you know, let's get
I learned that from you today.
Well, yeah, because like if this drops and you're in Peru, dude, you wait, get back. People lose, you know, momentum. They forget.
I'm gonna do the whole social media thing from down there while I'm in ceremony and working with the shamans down there.
Dude, you do a couple of clubhouse rooms from there if you could. If there's any internet, that'd be freaking unbelievable.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And old clubhouse, that thing, like again, it's such a freaking lead generator. It's unbelievable. You go in there and talk about this shit, you'll have, number one, because they're like, oh, Eric Nies from Real World, sure. So you'll draw a crowd just because, hey, what the fuck's that guy up to? And then when you start saying this shit, holy moly, dude, your DMs are going to blow up. Your freaking reservations are going to blow up. You're like, it'll be ridiculous. So what we were talking about earlier, we need to do that so you can create that scale and that what I call entry point.
Right.
Because that interactive entry point can alleviate the dudes that'll smack you when you're not looking, stupid shit. Like you could literally set up interactive questions and alleviate dumb fucks from the get-go. You know, because I always say, listen, I can keep you from drowning, but you have to swim towards me. There's too many people fucking swimming away needing help. And it's like, dude, you might drown, you swim after those people. Yeah. Like, worry about the ones swimming towards you. And then once everybody's safe, right, that's swimming towards you, now let's worry about the ones that are swimming away from us. But for now, I ain't got no time. I'm just going to help the people swimming towards me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you got to be selective, absolutely. Right? Yep.
So, but still, prior to, like, when this drops, I would have your website ready. And, hey, if you're interested, drop me your name. We'll get back to you. That way, you have all of them.
Yeah, database.
And by then, again, I mean, we might be able to whip something up real quick to where there is something. Because, dude, there's a lot of people that are going to want to know, what the Grandmasters teach you?
Well, his book, he has 2 books that he wrote.
Right.
Based on what the Grandmaster taught you?
Yeah.
What are they called?
Well, the Grandmaster's
I gotta go to the bathroom.
philosophy and methodology is stronger than ever. Conquer stress, anxiety, and depression. And
is that what the book's called?
That's the subtitle. So Stronger Than Ever is the name of the book. And that's strongerthaneverbook.com. It's a digital version right now. And that's the 7 disciplines that you do for the 49 days. So there's a 49-day challenge that is called the 7x7 solution. And those are both interconnected. So
where can people go learn more about that?
Strongerthaneverbook.com.
Strongerthaneverbook.com, folks. Strongerthaneverbook.com. Okay?
Right. And that leads you to us, and then from there you can get to the 7x7 solution, which is a 49-day challenge that teaches you how to implement these 7 disciplines
that the Grandmaster taught you.
Right. That can help transform and help you deal with stress and anxiety, depression, all types of other issues. I've gotten people off of medication, addiction. You know, it's helped a lot of people.
You probably, you know, built confidence. You built self-love, self-worth.
Self-love, huge. That was a big thing for me. I didn't have any of that. And the spiritual part of it was also a big component of it for me. And I also believe that nature is not only is it crucial that we start to connect with nature, but even more important is that we listen to what nature is telling us. And I'm not saying that nature is going to be whispering in your ear, but it has its own way of saying, it's a feeling that you get, and you'll get signs, and you'll get, it's just a connection that Earth is calling out for help, because we're doing some damage to this poor planet. That is our life. It's our lifeline. You know, it's the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, and we're poisoning it all. We're allowing this to happen by supporting the companies and the businesses that do not care. All they care about is the money.
Yeah.
And so they'll do anything and everything. They'll just destroy rainforests and pollute water and dump, and it's just horrific.
Allow
behavior.
Products to be sold that are proven to cause cancer.
Yes.
Withhold herbal remedies.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that's just bullshit right there. Where companies like go watch a movie called, I think it was called Black Water.
Yeah.
Where it's like DuPont, they're still in business. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. You mean you knew?
Yeah.
and your fucking punishment is a fine? How about fuck you? You cannot operate anymore.
Ever.
Period. Yep. Ever. You're out of business. Shut her down.
Yeah. Well,
and anybody that doesn't agree is an idiot. Like they intentionally and knew full well this shit hurts
goes on
people.
all over. There's people dying from all types of different medicines, and you know, look at the oxy issue. You know, it's like how many people died from overdose, and they knew it.
Oh, they knew it big.
They knew
that it was highly addictive.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. What's happening on a global scale? You know.
See, now these podcasts are usually 45 minutes to an hour, maybe an hour and 5 minutes. We're already an hour 40 in.
Are we really?
We haven't even scratched the surface. Like obviously we're going to have a part 2.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because like right now people are like, what'd the Grandmasters teach you? Okay, so number one, the Grandmaster, go to strongerthaneverbook.com and start there.
Yeah.
You know, the 7x7 is the 7 principles and how to apply them.
It's how to apply it and implement it into your life.
And basically how to get out of your own way, how to wake up, how to start the path.
How to feel better.
Yeah, but obviously you guys, there's a ton of shit that is in no book. It's in no website. They got to like.
It's inside of you.
They got to follow you. They got to reach out. No, I'm talking about you two.
Oh, yeah.
Because you guys, you spent 7 years with them. How long did you spend?
Same. We were, like I said, periodically visiting. He spent more time because I had a family, so I could only get out there as often as I could, but I made time.
Dude, I'd have moved my family out there.
Well, I've been with him until he passed. I would go visit him. When he moved back to Vietnam, I would go visit him in Vietnam.
Did he pass it on to anybody? Is the Grandmaster Junior now walking around, and who is he, and how do I be introduced? Because all the Queen's knowledge and all the ancient technology and lessons and shit passed on to him. Why did it stop with him? It couldn't have stopped with him.
This story it's still unfolding. Right. Let's just say that.
Yeah, but he imparted a lot on you two.
Yes.
Yeah. And now
well, so let me just say this. If you were able to consciously walk on this planet with no judgment and no fear,
wouldn't that be nice?
What else would you need?
Nothing.
That's right.
There you go.
That'd be
no
total
judgment, no fear.
And you know what you call that? Here's what I call that. Truth.
True knowledge liberates. Remember I said that earlier. True knowledge liberates. The truth. Why do you think that we are going through what we're going through right now on the world stage?
Purification.
We are tired of the lies.
So sick of it.
We are tired of the corruption. We are tired of these people in power.
Corruption.
Controlling us, lying to us.
Manipulating
us. Poisoning us. We can go into a whole nother conversation here around food and water and the sky and what they're doing to the planet and the medicine and everything. Where I go to in the jungle with the indigenous people, they say there's a plant for everything.
Sure there is.
And the tribe that I go with down there, the Shipibo, are considered the masters of ayahuasca. And they don't just work with ayahuasca, they work with thousands of plants.
Yeah, but if I do it, I'm going with you down to the Shipibo.
Yeah, you are.
You know, there's another fascinating group that your bomb squad should look into, and it's the 13 indigenous grandmothers. Fascinating story.
Where do you find them at?
That's a whole nother thing. And just in a nutshell, there was 13 grandmothers from all around the world, from these indigenous tribes, and they all learned, as they were growing up, these 13 women, they all learned the same exact prophecy. And then when they came together, we sat with Mona. How do you pronounce her last name?
Mona Palaka.
Palaka. So Mona and Eric and I had lunch together, and she told us this incredible story that the matriarch of the tribe was her grandmother, and her grandmother gave her a satchel, and she said, "You're going to know when to open this." and she held on to it for 70 years or something. She was 9 at the time. So when she got together with these 13 grandmothers, all through prophecy, they were saying, this is who you are and where you're going to meet. And they all get together. She goes, I think this is where I'm supposed to open it. She opens up the satchel. There's 13 rocks, 13 pieces of burnt wood, 13 feathers. What was it?
13 feathers, 13
So
stones.
it represented the elements, and they all got their thing. So it's a phenomenal story. It's just
Where do you find it? Just Google it.
Yeah, they're online.
Yeah, there's a movie called For the Next 7 Generations, but the 13 Indigenous Grandmothers Council.
Their message is bringing back the indigenous medicines of the world and going, accepting that the way, or acknowledging that the way that we're going at it, it's not healthy and sustainable. So the way we're treating the earth, the way we're treating each other, the way we're treating ourselves, it's just not sustainable.
Dude, I have a premonition here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
What do you got?
Well, I just think that like the whole virtual, interactive system that can be provided to help people kind of help themselves is going to lead to high ticket, meaning a lot of money, traveling with y'all down to these indigenous jungles. And again, I mean,
Boom.
Well, because dude,
you don't even know that was a bomb that you just dropped.
Why is that?
You have no idea how big that bomb was.
Dude, this is like...
Well, because dude, that's just naturally where it leads, and because that's live interaction, and come with me, I'll show you.
What are they called? Goosies?
The ticket price just goes up
and
up and up and up and up and up and up because pretty soon there's just so many spots. So now you can get away with how much is it? $250,000 for 3 days. If you don't want to, dude, there's like, see that line? Or whatever. Yeah. I'm just saying $250,000 to be, wow, that's a ticket price.
Yeah.
That premonition that you just had was actually shared with me through an Akashic Records reading of my soul. My dream, which is going to happen, is to have a TV show or cameras, whatever, following me, because Mona represents every single indigenous person on the planet when it comes to water rights. She's connected to every tribe on the planet. And what I want to do, what I'm going to do, is travel with Mona around the world to all of these indigenous cultures and explore their relationship with plants and minerals and water and the sun, and go bring that knowledge, that wisdom, those ancient teachings to the people that need it, that are sleeping, to assist them in waking up, because we're at a crossroads right now with the earth. We are at a serious crossroads. Mother Earth.
I was just talking about that while you were out in the bathroom.
This one elder said this. I was at a Wisdom Keepers gathering in Hawaii with Mona. I was assisting. And there was the guy who organized it. His name is Alarian. He's from Alaska. He's an elder wisdom keeper. And we're all sitting around in a circle, in a council. And he said, have any of you ever thought, like we call Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, Pachamama, right? This earth is feminine, right? Has anybody ever thought that maybe Mother Earth has a mom? And everybody was like, oh, yeah, maybe she does have a mother. And he goes, how long do you think that Mother Earth's mother is going to allow us to treat her this way?
Her daughter.
To abuse her, to continue to abuse her. How much longer?
Before she shakes us off?
You got it, brother.
Yep.
And that's what the prophecies are. That's what the indigenous people are talking about. That's what the end of times is. This is what the great purification, the great awakening, earthquakes, floods,
famine,
tornadoes,
floods,
all of it.
It's resetting.
That's right.
Viruses.
Yep.
It's resetting, which, by the way, are in various religions' scripture.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's all here now. It's not coming. I'm just going to let everybody know.
It's here.
And it's not coming
happening.
from just
It started.
from me. This is coming from our elders, our grandmothers and grandfathers, and these texts, these biblical texts. The time is now, and you're feeling it. You can't tell me, I don't care who you are, if you're listening to this right now and you can't feel what we're talking about on some level, and you're not questioning it on some level,
You're sleeping.
Sleeping.
You're
in denial.
It should even
your mind is altered in
your
some
mind
way.
is
Maybe you're
altered.
zombied on some kind of medication.
it should stir something.
Yeah.
Something.
You gotta agree.
Something. And the truth
Collectively-
is, and listen, I don't know, I mean, people can chime in, right? You know it, right? You when you resonate with somebody, with the feeling, with the information, oh, I hear what this guy's saying. There's something about what he's saying that I feel a certain way. The reason why is because this conversation is soul to soul. We're talking about the liberation of a soul. So that soul who's listening is going, hey, listen.
You listening? You
Are
paying
you
attention
listening?
to this guy?
Pay attention.
Yeah.
There's
He's got some
something
good
about
info
what this
here.
guy's talking about.
dropping
I don't know what he's
bombs.
saying. I don't really know what he's saying, but it feels there's something
I'm
about it. I
feeling
feel a certain
something.
way.
It's stirring something up.
Yeah.
Bomb.
Dude, again, I mean, I could keep going, but I want to respect your guys' time. We're just going to have a part 2.
Let's do it.
But I know there's going to be
When?
people blowing this up saying, dude, we need to know more about the Grandmaster. I want to talk about those 7s. Folks, if you guys want to, look ahead of next episode, go, go to Stronger Than Ever, right?
Yeah, stronger than ever.
Book.com and start looking into it. Follow these dudes. Go to their,
Can I give another shameless plug?
yeah.
The other book is called PUNT, The True Story of John Nies. That gets into the what happened leading up to Grandmaster, and then so it tells a lot of the story of childhood, and it's all told through my leg, the kicking. So it's the kickball as a little kid to playing football in high school and then college and then the NFL, and then Grandmaster had us doing a lot of kicking. So it was the name of the book is PUNT, and that's available on Amazon.
Go get it, folks. And you guys follow them, because that way, once you start following people, man, you start unlocking this and seeing this. If you're not posting much, you're going to start posting. Eric's real world reunion is like a full on season. That's dropping right now. Go look for that. And, just hit them all up with the Bomb Squad if you guys want them back for part 2. Like, if nobody says anything, they ain't coming back. They won't give a shit. But actually, that's not true. But hit them up anyway. And then part 2, let's keep digging.
Sure.
Yes.
Folks, I appreciate you guys listening. Share this out with people. This is, I think, my favorite episode of all time of Dropping Bombs. And I've done like 3 something. So I appreciate you two coming up here for this.
Thanks
You
for
could've
having
said,
us,
man,
Brad.
let's just do a Zoom. It's like, it wouldn't have been the same.
You were right. You were right. You said it's much better.
And I was a quick response. He was like, you want to go to Vegas? I was like, yep, let's go. I didn't even have to talk about it. I just knew that we were supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you.
Meant to be.
I'm telling you, it's resonating.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Folks, until next time, share this out. Go give us a rating. Follow these cats and keep it real.
Dropping bombs with the real Brad Lee. Subscribe now.